I see a lot of venues that are just constantly guessing. And I'm like, everything is expensive nowadays. Why are we just like throwing around money and trying to put a band-aid on something when we could spend a little bit more time, a little more legwork, actually do the work and figure out exactly what the problem is and then go fix it.
Uno, dos, tres.
I want to touch on something that I realize really relates more to what we were saying before in the last question, which was, do you think because of COVID, because there's been this really incredible shift in where people live, because a lot of jobs have been remote, so people are not necessarily needing to live downtown San Diego or downtown Dallas or downtown Houston to work for a company that's based there. They can live in more locations and work remotely, and obviously the online tools are much more robust now. I think just because of basic need, right? But do you feel like because of that there are more opportunities for these venues that could be wildly different, in the country, to have a very urban looking venue, or vice versa, just because you have folks now who came from the city are now living in the country, or maybe people who have moved into the city. Do you see that this is kind of something that you feel more confident saying because of how people are moving around?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And to your point, as far as people moving from the city to the country or vice versa, just to add to that, there's a lot of people friends that I follow or I follow on Instagram, that they're adopting a nomadic life, like they have this opportunity to work from their RV or their van that they've converted, and they're traveling, which is opening their eyes, right, to all of these different types of trends and different architecture, different looks, different vibes. And maybe they traveled to somewhere in California, really fell in love with an urban vibe and want to find something like that that's local where their families live to host their venue, or to host their wedding. So yeah, to your point, I think that more and more venue owners are getting a little bit more brave in taking chances on aesthetics, and I love it.
Do you think that is going to have um, I guess, a trickle down effect to how venue owners are thinking about maybe rebranding themselves, or maybe even doing construction? Because, like you said, maybe the biggest difference, or
Mhm.
the biggest way that a venue could set themselves apart is through the experience that they give their couples. But now, what about someone who maybe hasn't updated their venue in 8 years? There's some turf that needs to be replaced, or
Yeah,
some different things. Do you think this
right.
is a great opportunity for them to kind of shift around a little bit, or would you still advise them to kind of stay focused in that client experience track?
Yeah, I think that don't update your venue for the sake of updating your venue. If you're not getting new bookings and your venue is still in good condition and looks great, if you're a 5-year-old venue and updating and dumping money into a renovation isn't going to solve your booking problem.
Hmm.
Your booking problem more than likely is coming from marketing, oversaturation, things like that. Now, that's not to say if your venue needs updates, if you have holes in your sheetrock from crazy groomsmen drinking way too much, like let's have a conversation about that. And take this opportunity, if you're still in an area that is closed down, take this opportunity to do those paint touch ups. Kenzie's probably going to kill me for saying this, but we talk almost every day. I was on the phone with her the other day and I was like, what are you doing? It sounds so weird. And she was like, oh, I'm on a ladder painting our trim at the venue. And I was like, okay. So those little like makeup aesthetics, like do that, take this opportunity and do those. But as if you're trying to fix a booking problem, dumping more money into renovations and aesthetics more than likely isn't going to fix your booking problem.
That's really powerful. And I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of venue owners, that's the first place their mind would
It
go.
is.
It's
Right.
like, oh, our bookings are down, or our inquiries are down. It's probably because we don't have our turf hasn't been replaced, or,
Yeah.
we need a new coat of paint or whatever. And you're totally right. That's not going to you're going to have happier couples perhaps,
Right.
but that's not going to bring you new business. So for those venues that are experiencing this problem, what's your advice?
Stop guessing. Stop guessing. Stop trying to triage your bleeding by guessing on what's the problem. Instead, reach out to your couples. Kinsey does a great job of this. She sends an annual survey at the end of every single year to past couples. And I would encourage everyone to take it a step further and send a survey out to anybody that didn't book with you and just say, hey, we're always looking to improve. Can you just take 5 minutes, answer these 3 quick questions, and ask your audience, ask your past couples, ask the people that didn't book, ask anybody that is on social media that has came to your venue and physically seen it, or even if they haven't, and just say like, ask the questions of why didn't you book? How can we improve? What additional items would you love to see at our venue? How can we serve you better? And get those responses, see what the common theme is, and work on that. I see a lot of venues that are just constantly guessing. And I'm like, everything is expensive nowadays. Why are we just like throwing around money and trying to put a band-aid on something when we could spend a little bit more time, a little more legwork, actually do the work and figure out exactly what the problem is and then go fix it.